cannot be compared to Jude Bellingham, and Jude Bellingham cannot be compared to Pedri. Who you pick in this debate comes down to two things. Number one, your preference. That is the style of football you like, the style of footballer that you like. And number two, the club that you support, whether you're a Madrid fan or a Barcelona fan. That is how it comes down to. Madrid fans always pick Jude Bellingham, and Barca fans always pick Pedri. If you ask a Barca fan, will you swap Pedri for Jude Bellingham? 99% of them will say no. If you ask a Real Madrid fan, will you swap Jude Bellingham for Pedri? 99% of them will tell you no. And that tells me one thing. Both of them are elite talents. They are the best of the best in the world. They are the creme de la creme of midfield. That's just what it tells me. None of them can be talked down on. Because if you ask a Barca fan, will you switch Thibaut Courtois for Ter Stegen? In the heartbeat, they will collect it. Will you switch Lewandowski for Mbappe? They will collect it. If you ask a Real Madrid fan, will you switch Balde for Mendy? They will collect it. There are many other examples like that. So that tells me that it's not that they cannot collect this player because of rivalry. No. It's because this player that is playing at their club currently is one of the best in the world. No debate. Now, disrespecting either party is an absolute disgrace. And you should be ashamed of yourself as a football fan. You cannot appreciate two players, especially if you are not a Madrid or a Barcelona fan. That is the truth. Two of them don't even play the same position. That's why they cannot be compared. They don't even play the same position to start with. Pedri is more of a deep line playmaker, more of that 8. Jude Bellingham is more of a player that is a box-to-box player, a player that crashes into the box. He can, when you call on him defensively, he can be there. That is what a box-to-box player does. He almost does everything at an elite level. And Jude Bellingham is a player that, as a midfielder, he's still more elite than some strikers inside the penalty box. That is why some people call him a tapping matcher. If you do that, stop watching football, because you don't understand what is going on. There are some things you put for Jude Bellingham over Pedri, and some things of Pedri over Jude Bellingham. You tell me now, Pedri affects the game more 90 minutes. Pedri does this, Pedri does that. You tell me now, Jude Bellingham scores more goals, Jude Bellingham has more trophies and that and that. But that is not how you compare them. You look at the style of play their two clubs play. Real Madrid plays more of rock and roll football. That quick paced. You see, in the Champions League, they'll just come back in next 10 minutes and win it. You need a player like Jude Bellingham like that. Somebody like Pedri might not be able to do that necessarily. But you go to Barcelona. Barcelona plays football more like an orchestra. Classical music. But you need a choir master. You need a metronome. And that is Pedri. He orchestrates everything that happens at Barcelona. He's there pulling the strings. He's the puppet master at Barcelona. That is why none of these parties can be shit on. But these two, I don't care. It's Real Madrid and Barca fans. I don't care if they are shitting on themselves, because that is a very normal thing. Now you say Jude Bellingham is more clutch because he scores last minute goals and he does that more often, which is a fact. But clutch is not boiled down to only last minute goal. You can be clutch over 90 minutes, and that is more of the player Pedri is. Look at the game against Benfica in the Champions League. Pedri was the best player there, but he didn't score. He was the one that was orchestrating everything, but he didn't score. But if you watch the game of football, he was the best player. That is why it comes down to your preference. What do you like? Some people love goals more. They love assists more. They don't care how the goal came, the assist. Just have the goal and assist. Some people love the process of the goal and assist more than the goal and assist. That's what I mean. There are some people that if the process for your goal does not make sense, your goal does not count, which is rubbish too. It's down to preference. What do you want in a midfielder? What do you value more in a midfielder? You cannot tell me that one of these footballers is bad. That is a lie. That is a smelling lie. I don't think they should be compared, because in any comparison, it will be unfair to either party. Because one player will come and tell me, if you watch football, Pedri is doing this and that. Another will come and tell me, Pedri does not use to score, Pedri does not this, Pedri does not that. But there are different things you can hold over each party. Look at Jude Bellingham. Let's not lie. In the last few seasons, he has achieved more than Pedri. He has done more than Pedri. Bundesliga player of the season, I think. Then he came out to La Liga. People don't understand how crazy what Bellingham has done is. He came into La Liga, an Englishman, in a league that he's not familiar with, and won the player of the season. Come on, give Jude Bellingham his props. Scored, almost won the golden boot as a midfielder. That's madness. He came to Real Madrid in his first season. He won the Champions League with them, being one of their best players, being a Ballon d'Or contender. Come on now, you cannot be disrespecting a player like this. He went to England. We went for the Euros with England and was one of their best players also. So you cannot say he doesn't do it for country. But this season, over the last season, Jude Bellingham has 100% been better than Pedri. Let's not lie. At that point, many of you would have picked Jude Bellingham over Pedri. But this season now, Pedri has been the best midfielder in the world. That is the fact. But now you can compare them. And you guys, when you are comparing, one problem I hate with comparison is that when you are comparing, one of the parties will suffer. And this guy is rubbish, like Ronaldo and Messi, like Ronaldo and Messi fans. Because you like Ronaldo more, you say Messi is rubbish. Because you like Messi more, you say Ronaldo is rubbish. It is a lie. But for Pedri and Bellingham, they cannot be compared. They do not play the same position. They do not play the same type of football. Their two teams don't play the same type of football. And I think their two teams are more than happy with either talent. I don't think their two teams will switch their talent for either one. So this video, you should send it to somebody that is arguing about the Pedri and Bellingham thing. I think most football fans are taking it the wrong way. I think that most football fans are putting tribalism into the Pedri and Bellingham debate. But this is my take on the debate. You know, it's one of the hottest debates in football now. But that's my own take on it. I think I sticks.